Do you want to automate your YouTube video descriptions and tags using AI? If the answer is yes, then this video is for you. This is perfect for content creators, YouTubers, marketers, and automation enthusiasts who are looking to scale their content creation. What you need is basic Python knowledge, and I will walk you through step by step on how to accomplish this. So let's move on and create an actual project in PyCharm. So I've already created a sample project, which is called YouTube Helper Demo. And what we want to do here is we want to create a new file, which is called app.py. And what we need to do next is basically we want to import some libraries before we can actually build the application. So we're going to use Flask for the purpose of this exercise to create a sample server where we can run our application. So let's go ahead and import some features from Flask. So we want to import Flask, render template, request, and JSONify. Okay, JSONify, and after this we want to import OpenAI. So let's go ahead and install these libraries. Okay, so the libraries have been installed and now we can move on to the actual coding part. So let's create a new Flask application to start with. And after that, what we can do is we can actually create an OpenAI client. So how do we do that? So we use the OpenAI library, and then we need to create this client. So it takes an API key as an input. So you can basically sign up for the OpenAI API if you don't have an account yet, and then you can generate a key from there. I will show you how to do that shortly. And yeah, so once we have this client, what we need to do next is we need to create a few functions. So the first function will be generate content, and this function is going to take a video title as an input. And what we want to do next is basically we want to query OpenAI twice. So once we want to ask OpenAI to give us a detailed video description based on the video title, and then we want to query OpenAI again and give us the SEO tags for the same video. So what's the prompt for the description? So let's basically I've prepared the prompt. Let me show you how it looks. So let's use double quotes. So basically we're saying generate a detailed and engaging YouTube description, and we don't need this bit for a video titled, and then we pass the video title. So this needs to be a formatted string. And after this, what we need to do is basically we need to query OpenAI. And you can just go to platform.openai.com and you can easily copy and paste this code. And as I said before, if you don't have an account with OpenAI, you can sign up. It's completely free. You don't need to pay anything, and you're also going to get a free trial. And yeah, so now that we've copied this logic, what we can do is basically we can go back to the code and then we can paste this here. And we can say description response. So we want to use the GPT-4o mini model. And yes, so we've got this. Okay, we don't want to store this. So now how do we query OpenAI? So we can say we already have the prompt, so we can replace this with the actual prompt. And finally, we want to pass another parameter, which is max tokens, because we don't want OpenAI to come back to us with a very long video description. So we want to limit the number of tokens that it can basically use. And yes, so now we can extract the response, or we can actually extract the video description from the response. So we get the first choice, and then we say message.content. And we need to do exactly the same thing for the SEO tags. So let's just copy and paste this, and we can say prompt tags. Let's just copy and paste this here. And then this will be tags response. And okay, so it should be here. And yeah, so now we also need to update the prompt. So let's go back. So this is the prompt. So it says, give me relevant SEO tags for a video title, and then it provides the video title, provide only the tags using a hashtag. So you can literally copy and paste it from the screen. And finally, what we want this function to do is we want it to return the description and the actual tags. And that's pretty much this function. So after this, we want to create the index page. So we also want it to be the main root of our application. And in here, basically, we want this root to be a post and a get at the same time. So how do we do this? So we use this argument where we provide a list of all the supported methods. So we have get and post, and now we can go and define the actual function. So let's say if we have a post request, then what we want to do is basically we want to extract the video title from the form. So we're going to define the HTML form shortly, and I'm going to explain you how this works. So let's say video title. So this should be double equals. And yeah, then once we have the video title, and what we need to do next is we need to call the function that we just defined, which is generate content. And generate content, as we know, it returns description and tags. And once we have this information, what we want to do is basically we want to return the data, and this data will then be basically visualized on the screen. So we've got description and tags. And if this is a GET request, what we want to do is basically we want to render template, and the template will be our index template. And I think that's pretty much the Python side. So what we need to do next is we need to create two different directories. One of them will be called templates, and the other one will be called static. So in the templates folder, what we want to create is we want to create index.html. And yeah, so let's populate this file with some information. Okay, so this is how index.html looks. So I've given it a title, and then I'm also importing some CSS, which we're going to define shortly. And after this, we have a top level container, which has h1 tag. So this is like the title. And after this, we've got the form. So the form is going to take the video title as an input, and then there will be a button which you can click on. And once you basically populate this field with some topic, then you can click on this button, which is called generate content. And yeah, so once you press this button, then we have another diff field here, which is basically going to be populated with the information that comes from the backend. So, we're returning the description and the tags, and by default, this container is kind of hidden. So this div tag is not going to be shown until we actually have some data from the backend. So the users, they must click this button, retrieve some data, and then once we have some data, then we can actually visualize this container and populate it with information. And finally, we have some script.js, which we're going to define next. So let's go ahead to the static folder, and then what we need to create first is style.css. So style.css is going to contain some logic around how the different HTML elements should look on the page. So basically we're giving some font family, background colors, height, alignments, borders, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I will show you how this looks very shortly. And what we also need to define is script.js. So let's go ahead and do this. So in script.js, what we're doing here is basically we're getting the video form, and what we do next is we basically attach an event listener to the button, which is the submit button. And once the users press on the button generate content, what we do is basically we extract the video title from the input box, and then we're getting the results container. And from the results container, we're getting the description and the tags because they're two different fields. And once we have this information, what we do next is we basically query the backend with a post request, and we're passing the video title as an input. And once we get a response back, we extract the description and the tags, and we assign them to the description box and the tags box. And finally, we're removing the hidden class from this container. So as I told you earlier, this container is hidden by default, and once we have data and we have populated this container with some data, we just remove this hidden class so that it actually appears on the screen. And I think at this point we have pretty much everything. So we've got index.html, we've got styles.css, we've got script.js. And let's go back to the application, define main function. And what we can do is basically we can run this and see if it actually works. So let's call the application and let's set debug to true. And yeah, so let's run this and see if it works. Okay, so the application is up and running. And yeah, you can just click on this URL that is shown in the shell. And yeah, so you can see now we have a very nice box in the middle of the screen. And yeah, basically we need to give this a topic, and let's say we want some topics about football. And yeah, once you type football, you press the button generate content. As you can see, we generated some description and tags. And yeah, so it's basically giving you a lot of details about football. And also you have a lot of tags ready to go, so you can just copy and paste them and add them to your videos. So you can type any topic that you like, and yeah, it's going to query OpenAI in the backend. And as you can see, it's going to give you a suggestion for a title and then description at the same time. So literally, you just need to provide a topic, hit the generate content button, you're going to get a title for your video and you're going to get a detailed description. And finally, you're also going to get SEO tags. And that's pretty much the end of this video. If you basically found this video useful, please like it, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get full access to all of the templates and all the code that I've written so far for any of the previous videos, please click the link down below in the description and join my school community. It's completely free and you don't need to pay anything. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next one.